Good morning, I'm Sunetra Choudhury, political editor of the Hindustan Times, bringing you all that you need to know about COVID-19 on Wednesday, the 10th of June. First up, I'll look at the numbers. In just the last 24 hours, we've had 8,738 cases, taking the total to 2.7 lakh cases across the country. The number of deaths that we've seen so far, 7,717, prompting both national and international authorities and experts to warn that things are getting worse, so we have to be very, very careful. Delhi authorities, the Delhi government has said we should be seeing cases rising to 550,000, that's 5.5 lakh, and that's an increase from the current 30,000 cases that we have in the state so far. Not just that, other places like Tamil Nadu on Tuesday saw the highest single day rise of 1,685 cases. No wonder that the chief of the World Health Organization has said that it is rising, and the worst thing that a country can do is take its foot off the pedal. They have to maintain extreme caution, especially at a time when many countries across the world are in unlockdown phase, like India. They're also pointing out that more than half of the cases worldwide are from places like India, Russia, Brazil, and other countries in South America. So this is something that we have to keep in mind. Coming back to news from India, and we've also tallied now that the states where migrants are going back, and they are likely to go back also after the Supreme Court order which says they all should be sent back within the next 2 weeks. The 6 states which sends out the maximum number of migrants has also seen its numbers worsening when it comes to coronavirus. These states are Bengal, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, Assam, and Odisha. And in them, we've seen while the national rise from May 1st has been 7%, in these 6 states, the cases have been rising at 8%. So significantly larger than the rest of the country. The deaths here as well, initially they made up just 7% of the total number of deaths, but now these states make up for 10% of the total number of deaths. So it just shows how we are, even in the country, going to see new spots of infections, especially in places where people are going up. The concern is that green zones shouldn't become red zones, and that's where the entire focus of health authorities really lie. Now, another kind of news about the worsening situation of and the economy. One study that has been done in the National Capital Region, which covers all the schools, the private schools, says that 90% of parents have not been able to pay their children's fees. This is done in 53% of the 170 private schools that were tallied by this particular study. They found that the parents were citing business losses, salary cuts, and they also felt that perhaps the government would give some kind of reassurance to these parents. And the fees in these schools vary from more than 1,000 rupees per month to 5,500 rupees per month. And these parents, 53% of the 170 schools parents, have been unable to pay. But as all of this is happening, we're also seeing people trying to get back to normalcy, the usual business of lawmaking start. And so we had the Lok Sabha Speaker and Rajya Sabha Chairperson Venkaiah Naidu and Om Birla meet earlier this week. And in that meeting, it was discussed how they're going to have the next session of Parliament, which is the monsoon session of Parliament. And while it was considered that they are going to move the Lok Sabha to the Central Hall, which is much bigger, but now they feel that even with social distancing, Central Hall would only be able to accommodate 200 and not the 543 or 545 Lok Sabha MPs that are there. And that is why perhaps one of the radical new ideas that is being considered right now is that only those MPs who have legislative business, who have questions to ask, who have bills to move, only they should be coming to Parliament. The rest of the people should be joining virtually. Of course, it's going to make a whole set of new rules to be formed for Parliament, but this is a sign of how things are going to be different post-COVID. So that's something we should keep tracking. These are the news updates for now. Keep tracking them on hindustantimes.com.